But
So let's talk about money today. This is what this morning show today is about: money. It's about, one of the biggest things is that we're like, man, I wish I could be doing this. I wish I could be doing that.
mhm.
Um, I want you guys to, one of the things is think about, what are you investing in? What are you putting your money towards? Are you just a consumer, or are you an investor? Because there's two different big differences between what you're doing in life, from an investor standpoint and someone who's a consumer. So consumer is just, I work for my money, I spend my money. That's a consumer. That's what you do. And that's cool. There's nothing wrong with that. But on an investor standpoint, you start to put your money in stuff that will eventually create wealth for you, whether short term, long term, however you're looking at it, right?
Mm.
Stephanie, thank you for the stars, boo. So one of the things that I got into this year was investing in long-term stocks. Now, it takes a little bit to kind of get familiar, and I'm not going to act like I'm this stock fucking professional and all of a sudden I got all the tips and tricks of the stock trade and shit like that, Kathy Smith, thank you for the stars, boo. I'm not going to act like I know all the ins and outs. I watch a few people. I know a couple people. I don't know them personally. I watch a couple people on YouTube. You guys, I love YouTube. I utilize YouTube for fucking everything. But there's a couple people I watch on YouTube, and then my daughter has recently got into short term trading, and which I have a phenomenal friend who does it. She's been doing it for a year. Anyone who wants to get into it or is thinking about it, they do calls all the time, webinars, and they talk about it. So get in my inbox. I can send you guys the link of their Zoom, and you can get on there and listen to it. It's something that I'm going to be getting into the short term trading soon, because I've just been doing purchasing stock, long term stocks. And so that means of basically buying stuff, putting money into it, and waiting and letting it sit and create money for you for a couple years. So all this stuff is like long term. That's what long term stock is, right? So you buy it, you keep it, you kind of watch, you got to watch and see how things are going and not get all scared and just be like, oh my God, it's doing bad today. I'm gonna sell all my stocks. You can't be doing shit like that. But it's investing in the long term. If you guys are working and your career, your job has a 401k, get your 401k. I had worked for the previous company because, of course, I no longer work for them. But when I worked for them, my first like 3 to 4 years, I didn't invest in any stocks or 401k or anything, right? And then the first year that I did it, I was kind of like iffy about it. And so I did the little 3% when you should have did the 5%, especially if your company matches. Like if you do the 5% and they match you on it, man, jump on that shit. Because the second year I jumped up to the 5%. And then that shit, by the time the end of the year, I was like, what the hell am I 401k? And most of your businesses, your companies, you can take a loan out against your 401k, and
Mhm.
then you can pay it back. And some of them do were payments. You can do payments, you pay, it takes it out of your paycheck. Don't even have to worry about paying it, it just takes it out of your paycheck. So, and I would do that. There was times where I would go ahead and take out that loan on that 401k because it sat there a couple years and it was like a pretty good chunk. And I'm like, oh shit, okay, I could use this money to this. I could use this money to that. And it's not like you're not cashing out, you're just doing a loan. So you put it back in so that you don't have to deal with the tax shit. You know what I mean? As long as you pay it back, you don't got to deal with the tax, the IRS coming for you with the taxes. So look into that and think about that because it's a nice little nest egg. It's taken out of your check. You don't ever see it. You don't ever worry about it. And then boom, you have an option. Should you need it? Should you fall on hard times? You can go and be like, okay, I have this little nest egg here. I can borrow from this. And depending how much is in there, of course, most of the time when you're borrowing against your 401k, I think they don't let you go over half of how much it is. So if you got 4 grand in there, you could take out 2 grand. But the thing about it is just kind of looking at that, and depending on how much you put towards it, it's going to determine. So really think about that. If you don't have anything in your savings, right? And every day that you're getting up, your savings is on zero, or your savings on 1 cent, or whatever it is, right? And you never transfer any money to the savings. You just blow your money because you have it. You're like, it's my money. I'm gonna just fucking spend it. And then something fucking crazy happens. We all know this, right? We all know the tower comes, and then we don't have that nest egg. We don't have that cushion. One of the things I've always heard from all of the financial advisors were to at least have 3 months' salary in your savings, so
Mm-hmm.
that if anything happens, you're covered for the next 3 months of trying to figure it out, and not coming to the place of losing everything because you weren't living with the just in case. Not to say that you can't spend any of your money, but I think spending wisely and being smart about your money is going to start to change your habits, right? You just started stocks this year too. You're doing long-term stocks or short-term, boo?
Was it expensive for you to start your stocks?
No, and I actually can send you a code that will give you, I think, a free stock to start with. I think I started with like $25 or something. And there's a couple different places. There's, of course, Robinhood is one. Webull is another one that is highly talked about. I just actually put it in to get the Webull account, and I actually have stocks on Cash App. Cash App has stocks. You can purchase stocks on Cash App. So I have two stocks, long-term stocks on Cash App, which are Nike and AMC. Those are the two that I have on. And it's crazy because even though it's not a big payout, I got like 11 cents like not too long ago. And it was like, oh shit, got a little 11 cents. and, and you don't do shit, right? Stash in public. Okay. A few apps. Yeah. Long term. Okay. Good, good. And so in Robinhood is the other one where I've been building my portfolio until I've heard a lot of these long-term traders are talking about Webull. So I'm actually going to transfer over to Webull and play with that one, because that one actually you can do short-term trades in there, and you can do things. There's a lot of terms, compound and all this other stuff that I'm learning, but you could do short-term trades over there. So no, I started with like $25, and I mean, I think you could start with less than that, but I put 25 to just start it. So right now I have Netflix, I have money in Tesla. Tesla is one of the, just to give you guys some hints of the people that I've listened to. So if you're going to do stocks, you better have Tesla. Tesla is like one of the ones that everybody that I come around is talking about. Okay. So invest in Tesla. It's one of those ones you're going to hold, and over time it's going to grow. Um, of course, I have Netflix. I had even got Domino's. Domino's is one of the companies that has just been moving as far as their money, like bringing in their income in money, and people have not realized that Domino's has been like on it. So I actually have stocks in Domino's. Um, Trying to think, I have a few of them, but off the top of my head, I'm gonna look right now because so yeah, it doesn't take anything. And if you guys don't have it, I do get credit for referring people. So if you want my code, I could give you my code and you'll get a percentage off and get a free stock, get some free stocks. And then yeah, Netflix, Domino's, Tesla. Neo is another one that I just put some money into. And let me tell you, just even if you don't realize or understand what stocks are and all the ins and outs about it, Tesla is trading at $1,000 per share right now. That is fucking crazy. $1,000 per share. And so, of course, the higher it goes, the more profitable the business is. So Tesla was your first stock, yeah. Yeah. So I mean, yeah, it makes sense to invest in things that you put your money into. Like me with Starbucks, it was just like, why not? I fucking spent a lot of money in Starbucks. Like, why not? But um And like I said, those are, so I don't have a lot. I'm still creating my portfolio, but I stopped purchasing in Robinhood so that I can test out Weeble. So again, there's many different platforms. And then of course they have the short-term stocks. And I don't know a lot about that to tell you guys about it other than I'm going to be getting into it. And my daughter's been doing it. And that one, when you want to do money now, you want to get into making money now, your short-term stock trades is where it's at. So again, if you guys are interested in that, I definitely can send you the links. You guys can listen. I've actually been watching my daughter do it because I'm going to sign up. I just have to get my ducks in a row because, of course, there's things to learn. You do have to learn it, and I don't want to pay for anything that I'm not ready to. You know what I mean? To be on it. So, and I think so when we're talking about finances, you guys look at that. Like, there's a thing where I support a lot of people with what I can, but I don't go overboard. There's a thing where I ask myself, and especially in this past year, I always ask myself, do I need this right now? And it's not to be cheap and it's not to be broke. But if you look at the people who are wealthy, like really, really wealthy, they are not at Walmart every day fucking spending their money.
Right.
They're not. Right. They're not at Target every day spending their money. They're not at any store every day spending their fucking money. What they're doing is they're taking their money and investing it in other
Yeah.
things to create more wealth. And this is where we have to change the game for us of how do we create those habits to get into the mindset of creating wealth for ourselves and our next generations. You know what I mean? Like, when are we going to get to that point where we start, wait a minute, what are some things I can do? I watched this lady, and I'm actually going to probably pop her video in to the comments because she's phenomenal about talking about small businesses that you can do that don't cost you any money to start up.
I
Let me
think I
find it.
noticed the wealth thing when I moved because, as you know, like when I live in a very, very, very predominant neighborhood, um, and I'm considered low income, so I'm just happy to freaking be here. But even the kids noticed, like those kids don't come to school with name brands.
Right.
They're not like the most they might do is maybe have some Air Forces or something, but they look kind of like hand me downs and things. And so what I learned is they spend if they do spend their money, number one, it goes into their car or it goes into a vacation home or it goes into
Right.
a new
Right.
boat or something like that. It doesn't go on their body. It doesn't go, they're not frivolous at all with what they do. And they don't give a shit what they look like. They don't
Yep.
care what they look like at all. So it's just the mentality of coming from the hood where everybody wants to look like they have money, knowing damn
Yep.
well we don't have 3 times of our salary sitting in a bank somewhere, and we're willing to spend our last money on Jordans or anything else. And then I come out here and there's all these predominant people in, I don't know what kind of shoes y'all. They got now New Balances and shit I don't even see a name of, and they all look like they in
Right.
hand-me-down clothes, and but they got boats and they got vacation houses, so they put it where
Invest.
it matter to them.
Right. It's investment. If you look at a boat,